Right now, you can get 50% off your first order and get started today for just $5. Visit mymyro.com/babes and use promo code BABES.
This is Liz.
This is Jade.
And this is Carly. And you're listening to
Babes
and Babies.
Welcome,
I tried
guys.
to sing early in that one. We really do need to go babes and babies.
I agree.
Let's try it. Liz, you start off.
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous.
Okay, do it.
Babes
And
babies.
That was pretty good. I don't hate it.
baby.
But am I supposed to hold the note the whole time? That's what I'm wondering.
I think. Let's try again.
I don't know. I was thinking maybe we just would overlap them a little bit. But do you hold it the whole time?
I don't know. Let's try it all to hold on.
And
You
then
go-
we all in unison go at the end, again, repeat, baby.
Okay, I like it. Ready? Try it again.
Okay.
And hold it
Babes.
out. Baby.
Wow, that one was.
Okay, that one is bad.
We gotta practice.
Yeah.
we gotta practice.
Okay.
You guys, we're gonna go on a girls trip soon, and I am so excited. And we can practice our babes and babies harmonized
gosh.
jingle then.
Yes.
That sounds like a fantastic idea.
I'm so excited about it. I need girl time. Like I'm so bad.
So bad. Oh my god.
Lots of boys around here, guys.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It'll be my
You
first
do have
trip
a house
without.
full of boys.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. There's although
This is a fact.
Evan, for the first time ever, Evan hired a maid to come. So my house doesn't look so much like boys live in it because it just got cleaned for the first time ever.
Nice.
And you guys, I can like breathe better. Like my stress level has gone down so much. Although then I came in the other day and I put stuff on the kitchen table and Bella was crying. So I ran in to get her because Evan was going to go in there, but I went in there first. And then he comes out and he goes, "Why is this table already so messy?" And I was like, oh, you hire the maid and then you get mad at the mess.
That's welcome to the story of my life.
Like, what is that even?
Yeah.
So funny. But I was so thankful. I'm like really thankful for him this week.
That's
And
nice.
the maid.
And the maid. Mostly the maid, but also him for calling.
Yeah. Oh no. What I was gonna say, you guys, is this will be my first trip without Emerson on our little girls trip.
Oh my gosh,
That's
how
like
are
a
you
big-
feeling about that?
It's a big step for me. Well, because we're weaning, I feel a little bit better about it now, but still, it's kind of like I don't know what I'm gonna do without her. I think she'll be fine. It's like me,
Yeah,
having
no, I
to-
totally get that.
because I call her. I call my dog this too, but this is my reference. I always like to say is. She's the ET to my Elliot. So you know how ET and
Yes.
Elliot are like connected and their feelings are based off of what each other
Yes.
are feeling. That's how, and so that cord, when it's cut, it's going to freak me out a little, I think.
I think
So
once
we're
you
gonna
do it
see.
once you rip off the Band-Aid, then you'll I don't know. This is how I was because I have left Bella a few times like with my mom and only for like a night or two, but I don't know. I feel like more of a little bit Carly's back.
Sure, I get that because even now, like Emerson's napping on her own, and then I'm like, oh, I can do the things I want to do now,
Right.
And that makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
So
It'll just be like the next stage of your relationship with her. Like
Right.
now it's going to give it the
No.
opportunity to change into something else, like what's coming next,
I hear like a lot of the times like women will comment on my Instagram if like Emerson and I are being snuggly and they're like, I wish my little girl would do that with me. She doesn't do that anymore. And I'm so afraid if I leave, I'm going to come back and she's just not going to want to snuggle me anymore because she's like, oh, I survived without you. That's like
There's
my worst
no way.
nightmare.
No, there's no way. I think if a kid is snuggly, then a kid is snuggly.
I hope
yeah,
so.
I agree.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's like a personality thing.
God, I hope so.
That's
'Cause
what I
will.
think.
I feel like I will like crumple and die and wither away. if it happens.
Well, Carly and I are going to be there the whole weekend if you want to cry and cuddle us.
Yeah. Okay. We can all snuggle when I need it.
Snuggle party.
Hold me.
We can buy you like a teddy bear or something.
Okay, now let's take a break to talk about our favorite mattress, Nectar. At Nectar, they believe in love at first night. They are so confident in their mattress that you have 365 nights to get a full refund if you aren't 100% happy. They'll even pick up the mattress and get it out of your hair. Nectar is amazing to sleep on, and Nectar sleepers actually fall asleep 20% faster than people who sleep on any other mattress. Yes, they actually ran a study.
The Nectar Sleep mattress is 11 inches deep, so yes, bigger is better, and utilizes a 5-layer technology that no other mattress on the market has. Why does no other mattress compete? Because Nectar patented the most breathable, cooling, body contouring, medical-grade lush foam memory gel layer to help you fulfill your long life fantasy of sleeping on a cloud. No more terrible hot summer nights where you feel like you could be sleeping on cool tile and have a better night's sleep. No more stress about spending thousands of dollars on a good mattress that you will later have to just replace. Nectar promises a forever warranty on your mattress. And yes, we do mean forever, as in forever and ever and ever. And the mattress comes in a box. And you heard me right, a box. A box, you guys. And you'll be enjoying your mattress before you even lay on it.
And we have an exclusive listener offer. You buy now and get $125 off and 2 free premium pillows with any mattress order and free delivery. That's nectarsleep.com/babes to get the best sleep of your life for the rest of your life.
Yes. It's funny.
Oh my goodness. How's the weaning going?
It's going good. So it's so funny because I posted the other day that I was feeling really off, and I feel my hormones drastically changing from the weaning.
Whoa.
And it's crazy. It's those things that people never tell you about, right? And I'm like, why am I just like all over the place? I felt like I could cry for no reason. And it just felt weird. And I was like, well, maybe it's a pregnancy symptom, but it's not. It's because I'm not. But it's just been really crazy in that aspect with my body and my hormones changing. And she's been doing pretty good.
Are your boobs hurting?
But it's fun.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So my boobs are been, oh my gosh, I've had to like go and just like pump a little bit a couple times because the pain is real. Like, because your body's used to producing so much milk and then you're stopping. Because right now I'm probably nursing her. I'm nursing her twice a day. So it's like 12 hours in between. So she's only getting right in the morning and then right at night. So there's like a 12-hour span in the day that I'm not feeding her at all anymore. And so my boobs are like, wait, what's like, normally this is not how it goes. So
right.
It's so painful. So I've been having to do a little bit of pumping.
Oh my God.
But what's funny is,
did you just guys just get that
did you
alert
guys
on
all
your
get
phone?
that warning on your phone?
That like really scared
yeah.
me.
So
it's like this is a test of National Wireless Emergency Alert.
It's a presidential alert. They're now testing these on our phones in case there's like a national crisis.
Crazy.
You guys, that freaks me out.
But I mean, it's pretty crazy. So like you're literally, because everyone's attached to their phones nowadays.
Right.
That it warns you like, hey, shit's going down.
I like that because I don't really watch the news. So at least
if
something happens, I'll know about it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So back to weaning.
No, but so we were taking a bath the other day. I was in the bathtub with Emerson, and she was looking at my boobs, and she's been kind of pulling on my shirt every once in a while and like trying to put her hand down on my shirt. And I guess I didn't realize that I was saying, I'd be like, no, like no boobies, no. And we were sitting in the bath, and she looks and she points at my boobies, and she goes, no. And I was like, oh my God, she thinks, way to go, mom of the year, teaching my child no for one. And now she thinks my boobs are named no.
No.
And it's like the cutest little O, like she makes with her mouth. It's like, no.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute.
And so now Tanner thinks it's funny. She says no. And so he's been repeating it to her. So now she just runs around saying no. She's like,
I'm going to repeat that to Evan tonight.
He looks at your boobs and you're like, no nose.
These are no nose. No, I think that's so funny though. That's going to be such a funny thing to tell her like later in life. Oh my gosh, and then you used to call my boobs no nose.
Right.
So funny.
It's so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Anything exciting in your life, Carly?
No, Bella's just like, she's just a wild maniac. Like she crawls now. And she's not like a pro at it yet, but she can get one from one place to the other. And
like army crawling or actually have your tummy up the ground?
Both.
Wow.
Yeah. But she's always been like, she's pretty strong.
Yeah.
But so, and she also like loves her little walker. And so she's like, when she goes in that, if I'm like cooking in the kitchen, which I mean, or maybe putting dishes away. When am I ever cooking, to be honest? But she like loves to go in the pantry and she just keeps taking out all the boys' snacks and she'll pull them off. And then I look over and she has like a bag of like Oreos and I'm like, oh my gosh, child. And so I like now having to like close doors. She's trying to open things. She tries to get in everything. She doesn't want to snuggle ever. Not that she's ever been the snuggliest, but she is just all over the place. And she's now at that stage that you like actually do have to watch her because she will just do anything she feels like she wants to do.
Yeah, you're going to have to get those cupboard locks because we have some.
Yeah.
Because once they start crawling or moving, they want to get into everything.
Everything.
It's like
crazy.
it's fun to them. Like Emerson will go and just like pull out tons of stuff. Just everything.
Books off the shelf. She's like, oh, the bookshelf? Oh, all these books are to be on the floor instead of on the shelf. Oh my gosh, yeah, she's wild. And it's so funny because my parents like, they were out of town for like a week and they got back and they were like, oh my gosh, she's so much bigger. And they're like, whoa, she is so much wilder. And I'm like, I know.
Now's when you just have to childproof the entire house.
I know. It's like I bought those things to cover the outlets.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm going to buy those things this week for all of the cupboards so she can't open them. But it's like so cute because, you know, you wait for the stage and then you get to the stage and you're like, oh my gosh, let me go back. Let me go back to where I can just like lay you on the bed for a second and walk away and then bring your outfit back to you. And now it's like, nope. Gotta hold on.
I saw Jillian Harris had her little girl and she's been posting Instagram stories of her daughter and the little snuggle me. And she's just like, I forget when they're just so tiny and they just like stare off into nowhere and their body parts are just moving for no reason. And I was like, I didn't know
she had her.
Yeah, I saw she named her Annie, which is really cute. But
super cute.
Just that newborn stage, I just like, remember when they just couldn't do anything?
Yeah. It's so bizarre. And they were so small. Like, I remember when Bella came out and I was like, oh my gosh, like, you're so small. Like, I'm scared to move. I'm scared to hold you. I'm scared to put you down or pick you up, like anything.
Yeah.
Yep. Although I did have a bad mom moment the other day because I set her down. I like laid a blanket on our wood floor, but it wasn't very thick. And Evan and I were in the kitchen, and I was getting her a snack, walking back over to put her in the high chair, and Evan goes, "Oh my gosh, I think she's gonna face plant," and she face planted so hard, and I felt so bad because she doesn't cry that much anymore, but she was screaming, and it was so sad. Oh, and she has 2 teeth now. 2.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, and she was up every 2 hours last night because she doesn't want to eat during the day anymore. She wants to eat at night because it's like her comfort for teeth hurting. So it's going well over here. It's going well.
Yeah.
You're surviving. You're doing it.
You know what? One day at a time, guys. One day at a time.
That's fun, though, to watch them, like, change. You know, like you see her learning and growing and experiencing new things. Yeah.
It is really cool to, like, even watch them, like, feed themselves and they figure out where to put the food in their hand to get it in their mouth. And you see them, like, is it on the palm of the hand they put the food or is it on the fingers? Like, it's really interesting to watch their thought process. You know what I mean? It's really cute.
Yeah.
That is cute. I've been having baby fever pretty hard lately. And I had a client have a birth this last week, so that was a lot of fun. And anytime I'm around it, I'm just like, oh, I want it, you know?
Oh, yeah. But even though wasn't her labor so long though? It was, that still made you want one?
Well, I mean, it was different. She got induced and her body just like wasn't really ready. So it was just like a long process getting it going, you know, but once it got going, it was, and she was healthy and great the whole time. The baby was healthy and great the whole time. So,
that's good.
Yeah.
Wait, so your body can like, after you get Pitocin, like your body can say, no, I don't care about this?
Yeah. Sometimes people's bodies does like reject Pitocin, or sometimes the baby doesn't like it.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
I mean, the Pitocin can simulate the contractions or make them start going, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to start dilating and progress. That's like the hope.
Oh, I see.
It's like it's starting labor to try to make your body start to progress, but it doesn't mean your body's going to necessarily respond to it.
So if you're like me, you know how hard it is to find the perfect bra that looks good, it feels comfortable, and most importantly, fits great. Well, I stumbled on this brand called Le Mystere recently, and they've been having a celebrity following for more than 20 years, and I know why now. Because the design is the most beautiful lingerie that looks so stylish, and it actually feels so amazing.
I'm actually wearing my Le Mystere bra right now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, it's really comfortable. Finally, you don't have to sacrifice sexy for fit. You can actually have both. Every time I put on one of their bras, it instantly lifts my bust line, and I literally feel transformed. Beyond the incredible products that they offer, they also have sizes A through H. I also love how accessible they are. They are sold at the finest retailers like Bloomingdale's, Dillard's, Saks, a bunch of other places where you can have a one-on-one fitting with one of their brand ambassadors. If you are crunched for time like most of us, you can also schedule a Skype fitting with a certified bra fitter on their website at lemystere.com.
Plus, if you visit lemystere.com and are one of our first 50 listeners to make a purchase with promo code BABES, you will receive a special gift, a beautiful black quilted cosmetic bag. That's lemystere.com and use promo code BABES. Discover Le Mystere and discover you transformed.
Once you get an epidural, usually you're in labor already, and your body's going. So then the Pitocin is just keeping your labor going, you know, and progressing. Okay. So it helps if it's already started, you know, sometimes. But
Pitocin is just synthetic oxytocin, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, which is weird because oxytocin is also the like bonding love hormone.
Oh, you said bonding hormone. I said orgasm hormone.
Yeah, that's the same thing. It is.
No,
it's the
I
same
know.
Both of those are great.
My first thought. Your first thought. You were talking about bonding.
Well, that's why. Okay, so I'm just going to throw this in here, but that's why I believe that the theory stands true that women can't have sex with a guy and not get attached. Because if you're orgasming, you're gonna release oxytocin in your body, which tells you to bond with that human.
Yeah, but let's also be honest here, though. I mean, how many women have slept with guys and not experienced orgasms? You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah. So I feel like,
especially if it is just a booty call, you know, like because I feel like orgasms are very emotionally like an intimate thing for women. And I feel
totally.
I feel like you know, it's kind of like you have to mentally go there where a man can just like go be like, oh,
it's just physical.
No,
yeah, he
that
just
is so annoying.
That's my version of splooging. Ooh,
so funny.
Ew.
I wish you guys could see Jade's face when she makes that sound.
If you were in person, you would see me like making the winking hand signal too, hand gesture.
Oh man, it reminds me of, as most things do, Friends, where there's this episode where Monica's like, "Oh, he's making his sex face," and Chandler's like, "He looks like he's constipated."
This has gone somewhere funny and weird.
Yeah, I like it.
That's why we love it. But anyways, yeah. So a lot of times they do, Pitocin, which is synthetic oxytocin, which is what your body produces in labor, which is why it makes it progress. But it was fun. It gave me all the feels and the baby fever. So,
cute.
And it doesn't help. Like, I don't know why almost every time I'm at a birth, I'm either like PMSing or on my period or ovulating, like always. So I'm PMSing right now. And as we talked about before, PMS and wedding planning, like, don't go well together, but I'm working through it, but I found these really cool facts to help, like, when you actually get your period, though, because if you're like me, like, I get really bad cramps. I don't know if you guys do or not.
I get really bad cramps the first day. So my period is like, I swear it all wants to happen in day one. So I'm really heavy the first day. I'm really crampy the first day. And then the other 3 days are just super light. I don't know. It's weird.
You only have 4-day period?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. But I also have a 26-day cycle. So I get my period actually 24 to 26. So I get my period like sometimes for a while I was getting my period every 3 weeks. This was when I was younger.
That sounds horrible.
Oh my God.
It was horrible. But that was when I was younger.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy though, because when you do get your period, your uterus actually expands almost twice the size. Which is the same thing that happens after you give birth. So when you're actually shedding, it's a good thing to help with cramps is to create warmth in your abdomen. That's why some people put a heat pack on or something like that.
Or a bath.
Exactly. And your uterus is swollen and it actually weighs more. It's heavier than normal, which is why you are bloated.
So hold on. So it's the same size as your uterus after you give birth.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's crazy.
And then there's actually a meal plan that you can do that helps with cramps. And that's like things that help create warmth in your abdomen. So warm, healthy soups, teas, drinking lots of liquids. It's actually better to not have caffeine or cold fruits while you're on your period. And if you're experiencing cramping, because when you give it warm foods, it allows you to like shed in ease and like have a natural flow. So it's just like actually creating some extra nurturement for yourself during that time. So I'm going to try it when I get my period. I'll let you guys know how it goes. But
just a soup diet.
Well, I love soup. It's my favorite food, actually.
Really? I have to be in the mood for soup.
Oh, I could eat soup all summer long.
Weird.
I just feel like I think of soup and then I'm like, oh, what am I going to eat after the soup? That's how I feel about soup.
I like making good, like, hearty soups, though.
Like a stew?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or just throwing everything. I love vegetable soups, like tons of veggies in it, and potatoes, or rice, putting rice in your soup.
Tanner makes a really good... quinoa sounds good. Tanner makes a really good chili.
I like chili.
So, yeah,
Is
I like
that
chili
soup?
and cornbread, but see, that's like...
That's like borderline not soup, but I'm totally in chili land. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, that when you were saying the word shed, it was kind of grossing me out. Like how some people like the word moist grosses them out. Like imagining the shedding was kind of making me cringe.
That's so weird.
What about a
because it's
she-shed?
like what your body does, you know?
I know, but I've never thought of it in that way. And that word was kind of like, not that like I don't care about, periods are cool. Periods should not have a stigma to them, but the word shed was kind of making me like, oh.
Well, I feel like, though, that almost puts a word to the pain that you're experiencing because that sounds painful, like you're shedding. You know what I mean?
It makes me think of like a snake molting.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Which is actually transformative.
Oh,
right,
that's a good positive spin to it. Yes.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make this positive for you, Jade.
Yeah, no, I like that.
It's not the period itself. It's just the word that I was like, can we use a different word?
I mean, what other word would you use for...
I know. No, you're right, though.
Release.
You know?
No, I don't know.
But I'm excited. This next period, I'm going to try warm soups and warm things and see how it goes. But I also started taking St. John's wort for my PMS because that helps balance mood. But I also found out that if you're on birth control, St. John's wort makes your birth control less effective.
What?
So if it's something that you're going to look into, definitely research it and see if it mixes with different things that you're taking because
you know what else? That. Well, you know what else is a good natural mood stabilizer then is just magnesium.
Yeah, I need to get on that life.
Yeah.
Man, I used to take that every day.
I take it at night. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's calming. It even like helps you go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very nice. Well, I'm excited for my next period now, kind of oddly, and to start taking magnesium.
Well, you do all the things and get back to us about your research.
I will.
Yeah.
But as per usual, we have an exciting guest for you guys today.
And we forgot to tell you about it until now.
Surprise!
Well, Liz, your chair or something, man.
Yeah, I'm spinning in it.
Oh, I can hear it.
Sorry.
Spinning in it.
It's loud. Sorry, guys, if you hear my rocking in my chair.
Also,
okay.
we apologize for the sometimes excessive sounds that happen. Like, I think last week I was at my parents' house and there was like a train, but there is a train next to their house. So if you hear a train or a chair or a child or anything, we are sorry.
Yeah. Someday we'll be cool enough to have a professional studio, but right now.
Right now we're in our house.
Yes.
Houses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so should we tell them who's coming on?
Yes.
Who's going to say it?
I'm not sure how to say her last name right, so what of you?
All right, I'll introduce her. So we're having Allie Fedotosky, who was the Bachelorette. What season was she? Like season? I didn't do my research, but she is a mama of 2. She has her daughter Molly and her son Riley. That's right. But she's on today just to talk about being a mom, and also she has had this like scary thing going on with her uterus where all of her, I guess there's still some of her placenta in her uterus. It didn't all come out. And her baby's like 5-6 months now. So now she has to have the surgery. So we're having her on. I want to find out more about this because it's so interesting. You never think about these things. They can happen postpartum. So
I know, that sounds crazy.
yeah. And she said it's not a hard surgery, but she's such a busy mama. And it's just, it's just something that you don't plan for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
totally.
Well, let's get her on. Well, we are so excited to have you on today.
I'm excited. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, of course.
I'm so curious about your story. You have 2 little ones, right?
Oh my gosh, yes, 2. Molly and Riley. They're young.
How old are
They're
they?
so cute.
Molly is 2, and she's 2. She turned 2 like 3 months ago, and then Riley is 4 months.
So you're technically a 2 under 2 mom.
Technically, yes. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
technically I'm a mom to 2 and under.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How do you do it? And you work.
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know how anybody does it because it's so hard. Like, right now, even for instance, like, before I came over to chat with you guys, I was like running around with them. Like, Riley was getting up from his nap and Molly was screaming for me. And then she wanted this. And we even have someone that comes and helps us in the morning. We have, I just recently got a nanny for the first time. And she comes from like 6:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. in the morning because my husband works super early. And even with that, it's still really hard. Like I always have one of them and one of them it's just like, I don't know how anybody does it without having like parents or somebody to help because it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about that all the time when we have a second one. I'm like, I think I'm going to have a nanny because it's so hard to do it on your own. I give props to all the moms out there. I don't know how we do it.
I know.
I know that it's possible to like do on your own, right? Like I know it is, obviously people do it all over the place, but the reason too that like I wanted to get help because we're in a position where we're able to do that. I know not everybody can do that or not everybody has family, right? But the reason I wanted to do it is because I want Molly, my daughter, to be like engaged every day. Whereas when I have the baby, I can't engage with Molly. The baby needs like my constant attention. And I'm sure you guys remember, I mean, your little ones are a little bit older right now, but when they're 4 months, they're like up for like an hour and then down for a nap. And usually they're cat naps that are like 30 minutes
Totally.
and then they're back and they need to nurse and they need a bottle. And then it's the cycle all over again. So it's like,
Yes.
you don't even have 2 seconds. Like I can't give Molly any attention when I'm with Riley. So the reason that the nanny was important to me is because we don't have family out here. And then that way our nanny can, and I don't use her name for her privacy, so I say nanny. Otherwise, I would say her name. But that way she can give Molly all the attention Molly deserves. So I like do it for Molly, and I don't know. Yeah, I feel grateful that I have that.
Do you guys ever have those days where you just feel like you really need to talk to somebody and you need an outside source to talk to? Because I'm having a lot of those days right now, and what's great is I just found Talkspace. It's an online therapy company that lets you message a licensed therapist from anywhere at any time. All you need is a computer with internet connection or the Talkspace mobile app. That means you can improve your mental health, even if you've had trouble making time for it in the past.
I love that therapy doesn't always have to be about your innermost thoughts or digging into your childhood memories, which it can be, but it's also about practical everyday strategies for stress management and living a happier life. And I can tell you that I think therapy is healthy for everybody at any time, any moment. I know it's helped me before.
The Talkspace platform has over 2,000 licensed therapists who are experienced in addressing life challenges that we all face. To match with a perfect therapist for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy, go to Talkspace.com/babes and use the code BABES to get $45 off your first month and show your support for this show. That's babes and Talkspace.com/babes.
I wanted to talk to you too because I've been following your Instagram stories and just kind of your journey postpartum after Riley. And you have an issue where, I guess I'll let you explain it, but you've had some uterus and problems, I guess, going on. I don't know how to explain it. I'll let you talk about it.
My name is Allie, and I have uterus problems. Yeah, no, I do. So I didn't even know this was a thing. But after you give birth, sometimes the placenta doesn't fully detach. And it's so crazy because the same thing happened with Molly after I had Molly. My placenta didn't fully attach. So my doctor had to yank it out of me. It was awful.
Whoa.
In some ways, the aftermath of getting the placenta out was worse than the actual birth itself. So, so it happened with Molly, and I had basically placenta tissue left over inside my uterus. But with Molly, we kept monitoring it, and it eventually worked its way out on its own. And I got my cycle back way early with Molly. I got it back at 3 months, even though I breastfed her for a year. So that took care of the problem, right? I know, right? With a breastfeeding, you're not supposed to get it back, and I got it back right away.
Right.
There. But the good thing about it was that it got the stuff out of my uterus, right? The leftover stuff. But with Riley this time, the same thing happened. And the reason I knew I had it is because I was experiencing a lot of pain. When I would stand up for more than 15 minutes, I had severe cramping, but not period cramps, contraction cramps. And so I was something is not right. So the same thing happened with Molly. So I went to the doctor and she gave me an ultrasound and saw once again, I have stuff in there. The thing this time with Riley, he's 4.5 months now. I haven't gotten my cycle back, so it hasn't come out. And I've gotten it checked by her multiple times and it still hasn't come out. And I guess the risk is infection and stuff. So I have a procedure scheduled, I think, for November 12th as of now, which you have to have a DNC where they go in and they suck it out. And it's not a big deal. It's not a huge surgery. But as you guys know, when you have kids,
right,
taken away from them is a big deal. Who's going to take care of them? Who's going to pick me up from the procedure? Is Kevin going to do it? Are we going to have childcare? Is a nanny? It's just any little thing is a big deal. So it's it feels and you have to be put under anesthesia. And I've been under anesthesia before and it makes me sick. And so anyway, yeah, it's this whole thing. I had no idea that women go through this.
Have you had a lot of women respond to you that they've had this issue happen?
Totally. So
wow.
A lot. And it's kind of interesting, how many have responded and said it's happened, because wouldn't you think that doctors would just test for this? When you go to 6-week postpartum checkup,
right,
they just give you an ultrasound. Otherwise, because I was going around in pain for months and not really knowing why. So it's so bizarre to me. It's insurance companies, I bet, don't do it. They won't pay for it. So the doctor can't do it unless you say I'm in pain. So my advice to any woman postpartum, just say you have some pain. I feel stuff keeps coming out and I'm in pain. That way you get it at your 6 weeks checkup and can get it taken care of if, or at least monitored if you have it.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost, those uterine cramps or contractions, like you were saying, was your body was trying to give birth again in a way. Your uterus was trying to push it out, I guess, right?
Totally. That's exactly what it was.
How much is in there? Do you know how much is in there?
I don't think it's a ton. I think when she was measuring it, it was a 1.5 centimeters thick and a few centimeters long. It's not a lot.
Interesting.
It's your uterus is small. It's only the size of, your fist. when there's no baby in there. So that much is like enough that it can cause an infection. Like, so it needs to it's got to work its way out. And then they put me on this medication that like makes you contract again. It like gives you,
man.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, they're not
Allie.
super painful. They're not like when you're in labor. They're not like that. But I couldn't breastfeed. So then because my baby, you can breastfeed on them, but unless your baby gets diarrhea or vomiting, and Riley was having really bad diarrhea, which at first I'm like, well, how could a baby who's breastfed have diarrhea? Their poops are all water anyway. But when you see baby diarrhea, you know it. It's like pure water.
Oh my gosh.
But so yeah, he was getting sick. So then I had to like go in my frozen stash and go through all my milk. And you guys know, like that's like your goal, your little treasure chest. I have this freezer in our garage that's just full of milk, and I like call it my treasure chest because like that's livelihood. But I got through it, and I'm hoping, it's so weird to say this, like I'm hoping that my cycle comes back before the DNC because I don't want to have to go under. So we'll see. I have a month. Wish me luck, girl.
Yeah,
we're
sending
seriously,
all
good
the
luck
luck your way.
Putting
it out there.
Positive vibes.
Thank you.
So I'm super curious about your birth stories.
Gosh, okay. So I almost like feel bad telling you guys this. Wait, how many kids do you have?
I don't have any.
What?
I don't have any kids.
Oh, you don't have any kids yet. Okay,
No.
so I don't want to freak you out, and I don't want to hear Charlie and Jake either for their second. But everybody has told me that like the second kid's easier, right? Like, oh, don't worry, because like once you experience labor, you're like, never again. But then you're like, wait a second, the second one's easier, so I can do this again because it's never going to be that hard again. I'm so sorry to you guys. My second labor was worse than my first. And my first was awful. Like, and I know every mom has their, like, you tell a mom your birth story, they tell you theirs. Like, everybody has, like, their horror stories. But mine, like, my epidural didn't work in either of my labors.
What?
Yeah. And the anesthesiologist told me that the chances of that happening are, like, 1 in a gazillion.
I can't handle that at all. Oh my gosh.
And like, I know women out there do the natural birth thing, and oh my gosh, you women are superhuman. I don't know how, but I will say that I don't know what it's like to naturally go into labor because in both of my labors, I was induced. So with Riley, I'll just go right into Riley. I was induced at 39 weeks. And the reason why is because my doctor basically told me that he was a massive human being. They're like, you're on track to have an 11-pound baby. I was like, oh, yeah, let's get this child out of me. But the thing is, looking back, if I could do it all over again, I would not get induced again. And my advice to any mom out there is to avoid getting induced unless it's like your doctor is like, you medically have to right now. Because I think technically I could have waited longer. He was only 8 pounds, 11 ounces. And by getting induced and getting Pitocin, did you guys have Pitocin?
I did.
Carly did, yeah.
You did. It's the devil.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So, because your body's not ready to, get the baby out. So I went under that. I only went from 0 to 5 centimeters over the course of 20 hours, I think. 0 to 5, that's it.
What?
And over the course of 20 hours on the Pitocin, because my body just didn't want to open up. Like my water wasn't, my body didn't want to open up. Like I wasn't ready. And on top of that, I was getting Pitocin and my epidural wasn't working.
That is the worst.
That's that was my nightmare.
It was.
So sorry.
All the doctors kept coming in saying, like, we don't know. Like, this is, like, impossible.
Gosh.
If your epidural didn't work with your first baby either, like, the chances of that are astronomical. So finally they called, like, the head honcho of anesthesia at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in LA, the biggest hospital in LA. And he came up to, I was like, a science experiment, like what's going on with this woman? And he was like, look, the only solution for you is to do it again. So
oh my gosh.
Second epidural, and I cried my eyes out because it's scary. Like when you're all pregnant, before, and they're like this big needle.
It is
and
scary.
Like, oh my gosh, I like cried to my husband. He was like, babe, you've got to do this. Like, you're in so much pain. And I like finally agreed to, like, through sobbing tears, to get another one. And getting the second epidural was actually like my lifesaver, because it made me like, you know how you have to like sit on the edge of the bed and hunch your back like a cat?
Yeah.
Well, that position made my water like break and all gush out.
Whoa.
And by doing that, it accelerated the baby's birth. So one, not only did getting it redone work, if I got the epidural worked the second time. So
yes.
But it made me go from 5 centimeters to 10 centimeters in 2 hours after the 20 hours of none. But I mean, there's so many other things that I could say that the story would be so long, but like my second was longer than my first and like more painful and everything. So needless to say, I'm not having any more children.
My Rose is making deodorant better, like 10 times better. Not the drugstore stuff with the meh scents that you're used to. Kind of deodorant that lives up to your power poses and selfie obsession. Because Myro believes in a good scent and a good mood go together, like black coffee and breakthroughs. Myro delivers obsession-worthy, naturally effective deodorant that looks as good as it smells. The reason I love it is because I don't like putting things on my body that could be potentially harmful, such as aluminum and toxins and parabens, which is great because Myro doesn't have any of those things.
So here's how it works. It's actually a subscription. So you choose your scent, your case, and your color, and you get a refresher every 3 months delivered straight to your door, conveniently timed for when most people run out of deodorant. You can switch your scents, which is awesome, and then press pause or stop literally anytime you want so you can stop your orders. It's a refillable case, and mood-inspiring scents are good for you and the planet we live on. Because the case is refillable, Myro refills reduced plastic waste by approximately 50% versus the typical drugstore deodorants.
And right now you can get 50% off your first order and get started today for just $5. Visit mymyro.com/babes and use promo code BABES. That's mymyro.com/babes and use promo code BABES.
When I agree with you, like I don't have kids, so I don't have the personal experience at all, but I work as a doula, so I've been at a lot of births. And once I have a client, I always tell them if they're like, I want an all natural labor, blah, blah, blah. But if something happens where they're getting Pitocin, I'm like, you just need to be prepared. If you get Pitocin, like you're most likely going to get an epidural because it's so intense. The pain is so strong, you know, so I can't I've never had a client have Pitocin for 20 hours without having an epidural working. I can't imagine that.
It was terrible. Like they had to give me all these other drugs. I don't even know what they were to try to help me because I felt like I was dying. They like made me vomit and it was just like, and then I felt, I was like having all these drugs in me and there was this little baby and like, it's just like you go through all the mom guilt and, it was crazy intense. And then even like I don't know if this happened to you guys, but like, because my placenta didn't detach, again, the whole story of that, I had to get Pitocin, even at higher levels for like 8 hours after birth.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, even at like the afterbirth was almost worse than the actual birth because I was
my gosh.
so much pain. I think like the highest level they can give you, I can't remember what it is.
It's usually a 30.
A 30 when you're in there. I was at a 50.
Oh my God.
It's insane. Like, but the pain is different. It's not as intense, but it's like different. It's so hard to explain. But yeah, if you're placenta, because they don't want you to hemorrhage. So they want your uterus to keep contracting out all the blood.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's like a new thing because I didn't have it with my daughter because I had hemorrhaging with her. So with my son, it was a new thing. Like, I guess they implemented it in the hospital over the last 2 years. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So anyway, yeah, but it's funny that you say the thing about Pitocin being a doula. The only thing that would like ever get me through another pregnancy and birth is like the curiosity of what it might be like to go into labor naturally. Like, I seriously don't know what it's like to go into labor because with my daughter, my doctor accidentally popped my water on her exam table when I was 39 weeks. So I was stories.
Accidentally.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we just broke your water.
Yeah, she had long nails.
Oh no. That makes my vagina hurt.
Gosh.
He was examining me, and I was like, "Can you do the thing where you like scrape the,
Sweep the membranes?
Yes, sweep the membranes."
Allie,
And she was like, "Okay,
what
sure."
in
So
the
she went to
world?
do it, and while her hand was like in me, pop, and my water just gushed all over her exam room floor, and I was like, and I was like, "Normal," and she's like, "That's never happened before," and I was like, "What?"
Oh my God.
Went
That
right
lady
to
needs to
the
cut her nails.
Yeah, and I had to get put on Pitocin because I wasn't going into labor. So it's like I don't know
Oh my gosh.
to just like be at the grocery store and your water break, or wake up in the middle of the night with contraction pain. Like I have no idea what that's like.
My water broke, but I still had to. My water broke at like 4:30 in the morning, and then I went to the hospital. But they still had to put me on Pitocin because I wasn't progressing at all. So yeah, I wasn't even having like any contractions really, like by myself.
Yeah. Well, once your water breaks and you go to the hospital, they want you to deliver within 24 hours because then it opens you up for infection. So they usually try to make sure that you're progressing, so,
Gotcha.
I mean, naturally Pitocin's usually the first like active measure.
I can't believe you had to have 2 epidurals. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that.
I don't know if you've heard. There's like this reaction called like vasovagal. I don't even know the name, like correct way to pronounce it, but it's when like you get blood drawn or like you get poked with a needle and you pass out.
Tanner does that.
Oh my gosh! So I have that too. Like I've gotten blood drawn, and sometimes it's a delayed reaction. Sometimes it happens right away, and then sometimes it's delayed. I've gotten blood drawn and then walked in the basement of a hospital and passed out in the basement of the garage floor. Like. So I hate needles. So I was like, not wanting that second one to come. But
do you by chance have like a redhead gene in your family?
I don't think so. Why?
Because anesthetic is less effective on redheads. It's like a genetic thing. So sometimes anesthetic doesn't take as well. Well, they say to gingers as other people. It's like a gene.
Weird.
So I was just curious.
That is, I don't know. I'm going to ask around now. I don't know. But I feel like my sister has had issues with her epidurals too.
Okay.
Maybe it is. That's interesting. I will ask. I don't know.
Or, I mean, it could be a different trait that you guys have, especially, I mean, if both of you had issues with it,
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, my doctor said the one in like a gazillion. I'm pretty sure he used those exact words.
Oh my gosh. The thing is, if you decide to have another one and you go into labor naturally, hopefully then you wouldn't have to get Pitocin. So it wouldn't be as intense. You know what I mean?
Well, I can like already tell everything down there is like way different this time around. Like the first time I snapped back, my body snapped back, like everything, my uterus, and now I'm like, I am just not the same person anymore. Like, is going back. So I feel like if I were to get pregnant again, I would look 9 months pregnant at like 6 weeks, and I would in like 2 hours because I'm just like ready to go.
Oh, it's so funny. I love that you're so open about that stuff, though, because you posted a picture on your Instagram of your postpartum body and just like rocked it like a rock star. But
I know I'm in my 30s now and I should probably be thinking about investing, and I really don't know what to do with my money. So I downloaded this app and I'm super excited to try it out and get into investing and trading, and they make it so easy for you. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free.
What's so crazy is other brokerages charge up to $10 for every single trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge a commission fee at all, and you can trade stocks and keep all of your profits. That's awesome, and it's easy to understand charts and marketplace data, and you can place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. That's crazy, and I'm honestly, like, just like you, I'm learning how to invest and build my portfolio, and discovering new stocks, and I'm tracking my favorite companies with my personalized news feed.
Nice. Yes, you guys, Robinhood is giving listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio, which is awesome. Sign up at babes.robinhood.com. Yes, that's babes.robinhood.com. It's crazy how much your body just changes. Even my body, there's just places that are just so loose now. And I'm like, I can't do anything about it. You know, you just gotta,
I feel
you embrace it.
I mean, for me though, it was weird. Like after my first though, honestly, like I bounced back. Like I remember I was in a bikini, like doing a photo shoot, like I think like 6 or 7 months postpartum. And I was in the best shape of my life. Like not maybe like healthy wise, like meaning I wasn't like going to work out and stuff, but like my actual shape. Like I was like thin and tight. And like, I was like, what is going on? Like this is like the best I've ever felt about my body. And I was like, oh, breastfeeding. So with Riley, I was like, when I was pregnant with him, I was like, I can eat whatever I want because I'm going to breastfeed and I'm going to lose all the weight instantly, just like I did with Molly. That did not happen. So this time it's just been so different. Like nothing fits the same. I'm a full dress size bigger. Like, you know, I have this huge, like slab of fat across my lower belly that like, it's weird. It's like fat and skin. Like it's kind of like when someone loses a lot of weight, you know, like when they lose, like,
totally,
they have like this like slab excess. Like I have that all around my midsection, and like I'm going to give it time, and I'm not going to put pressure on myself. Like, I just don't know. Like, is that ever going to go away? Like, I don't know. Would I one day consider like getting a tuck because it doesn't go away? If I'm like really insecure about it, I would. I'm not like shy about like. I think that if you're like really wanting to do something for yourself and you want to go under the knife, go for it. You know, like if that's your choice, I don't judge anybody. So I wouldn't, you know, put the pressure on myself either. But, yeah, it's weird. Everything just changes. And like my boobs this time, like they bounce right back after Molly. Like with Riley breastfeeding, I can already tell like I'm done for. Like no more like low V-neck shirts, no more like cute triangle bikinis. Like those are a thing of the past for me.
Those can be tucked up too, though. Just a little.
That's true.
Boop, boop.
Right. That's right. I know. Unless it's like, I'm such a fraidy cat. Like we were talking about needles and everything that I don't know that I'd actually be able to pull the plug, but I like always say, I'm like, I'm never going to say never because I, you know, if my body is just not recognizable at this point, but you know, what can you do? And at this point too, with Riley, I've actually had to like pump and bottle feed almost all the time because he's so huge. Like my son is massive. He's in the 97th percentile for weight and he is off the chart for height. He's not even on the scale. So he's so tall and he's so big. With like just nursing exclusively, I felt like he wasn't like getting enough. So I pump all the time and I give him pumped milk to make sure he drinks like 8 ounces consistently of breast milk out of a bottle and he's 4 months old. 40 ounces a day. That's insane.
How much does he weigh?
He weighs right now 19 pounds and he's 4 months.
Oh my God.
Stop it. Oh my gosh, Bella's 15 pounds.
Emerson is 14 months old and she weighs 21 pounds.
Yeah, we just went to the doctor yesterday. He is 19. He is just shy of 19 pounds.
Wow. That's amazing.
So you can understand why I am like, right now my arms are constantly sore. At least I might get my arm like my arm back just because I'm carrying around this like chunky big thing, I should say. But
you touched on it a little bit at the beginning, but I mean, especially with feeding him all the time and being a mom of 2, like how do you balance work life, mom life, being a wife, you know, where do you kind of find that balance for yourself?
I don't. I definitely don't have any balance. I feel like I'm like constantly something is suffering. Either my work is suffering or my like personal hygiene is suffering for my personal well-being or my marriage or something is always like not up to par. And that's the hard part. And I think I think more the important thing is rather than like thinking you're ever going to balance it all is like making sure that whatever's at the bottom of the barrel for a particular day is at the top the next day. Mm-hmm. You know, I can't give him as much as attention to Molly one day because I'm really busy with a work deadline or, you know, Kevin and I need a date night, but the next day it's all about Molly. Or if like, I'm not paying any attention to Kevin for a few days because it's all about the kids, like Kevin and I have to do a date, you know, or something. Like, I think it's like, just like pulling the bottom of the barrel up to the top, you know, going through all because it's impossible. It's so hard. Even with the help of having a nanny here for 5 hours in the morning during the week, even with that, because people are like, oh, you have her every day. It's like, well, she's gone by 11:30 a.m. Like, I'm still a mom from 11:30 to the end of the day, just, me and Kevin. But I think if I didn't have her, if I didn't have the help, I honestly would just cry every day. Like, it was a point, and this is truth. I mean, I know a lot of moms out there do the same thing. Like, from before we got the help, from like the time Riley was born until maybe, I don't know, I think we got help around when he turned like 3 months. So like it was about 5 weeks ago. But for those first 3 months, Kevin would come home from work and I would just be sobbing. My daughter would see me crying. My son would feel it. I mean, he's a baby, but you feel that energy. And I would hand the baby over to him and say, I just need a second, because it was impossible. Like it felt impossible. And so I don't know how to say just balance, because there just is none. There's none. Don't have help. I feel like I always say, like, if you can't hire somebody because it's expensive, I get that. Like, it's a struggle for us to hire someone. We are like had to cut back on a lot of things, and ask family. If there's not family, ask friends. Go to a local church, see if they have any daycare programs. Like anything to give you any time to yourself. Otherwise, you'll go crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I totally agree.
How do you do it? How are you balancing? I mean, this is the thing. I know, like, it's easy to say, well, you have 2 kids, you have 1. It's all relative. Like, the way I describe it to people is like, when we had 1 kid, it's like a video game, right? When you're on level 1, 2, 3, it's hard, right? Because you're just learning the game. Same thing. When you have 1 kid, it's hard because you're learning it all. But then when you're on level 10, which is 2 kids, all of a sudden level 1, like, is like more manageable. So 1 kid, you're like, okay, I totally got this. So you could like, but if you only have 1 kid, level 1's really hard. So it's like, so it's all relative. Like, it's easy to say we have 2, you just have 1. It's hard being a parent to 1 kid. It's very hard. It's an adjustment. So like, how are you guys finding balance? What is yours?
I think the first year I just had tunnel vision. I didn't take care of myself at all. And it was just like, this tunnel. It was like, just take care of her. It was like all my energy. I didn't have time for any of those things. So it wasn't even like a thought in the back of my mind, like, oh, I should be doing this for myself or whatever. It was just, I'm just going to get through it and we're going to do it. And that's all I'm going to do. And I feel like now she's a little bit older. And so I didn't let my daughter sleep on her own at all the first year. So all of her naps, I'd let her nap on me or nap near me. And so I was getting 0 breaks. And so now she's napping on her own. And so finally, like, I'm like, oh my God, I can do things for myself, or I can do things for Tanner. And now I feel like there's a little bit more of that balance. And, but the first year it was just like tunnel vision, just gonna truck through. I don't know.
I mean, that is like the most precious thing ever, that she was like sleeping with you and like napping on you. I bet that was like the best moments that you'll remember for all of your life.
Yeah.
But like, good for you. Cause like that must've been so hard.
I mean, I think it gave me a lot of anxiety. Just constant. It was because it was just constant. And so now I feel like I'm finally like mentally in a better space. And I feel like I may do things differently with a second child. I'm not sure. But I didn't know what I was doing. It was just what felt right to me and just what my instincts were telling me to do. But man, I feel a lot better.
I will tell you 100% with a second, you will have to do it differently. Because this is the thing. Like, you might want them to sleep on you and lay on you, but your 2-year-old's screaming for you, mommy, play with me, do this. So like, you can't.
I know.
The baby will wake up, you're being pulled. Like, it is such a grind. But it'd be interesting how that will be for you.
Yeah.
Like, totally. I mean, I'm like the opposite. My son's 4 months and I just did sleep training. So like, I was like, in your own room, in your own crib. I need my because what we did with Molly is we would rock her to sleep every time she went to sleep. And we would spend like, an hour rocking her for a 30-minute nap. So we spent an hour rocking her, then I'd put her down. She'd sleep for 20 to 30 minutes. And I'd be like, no. So Riley, I'm like, this can't happen because I have a 2-year-old to take care of. Downstairs, I can't be rocking my baby for an hour upstairs. Logistically, it just can't work. So we had to sleep train almost out of need to be able to just put him down in the crib and walk out of the room so I can go tend to my daughter. And even in that 5-minute sleep routine where I'm like putting his diaper on, putting him in his sleep suit, putting him in the crib, the white noise on, I'm worried about what Molly's doing. She's downstairs. I don't have an eye on her. What am I like?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
Right.
I don't know. Hard to do it all. I don't know.
It is.
I don't
Moms
know
are
how you do
super
it.
women.
I know. They really are. It's amazing the things that you can accomplish. And then you look back and you're like, how the hell did I do that? Like, it's
What
wild.
are you guys? What is number 2 coming along for both of you? I'm sure you probably talked about this before, but
Carly's face.
With all this conversation. I don't know. Evan and I have talked about it. There's like, I'm in that place where I'm like, there's things I want to accomplish, and I don't know that timing is right to like have another one. But then it's like, oh, but I wanted them close in age. So I don't know. I'm struggling with all of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be another Bella, and it'll be like, oh, whoops. That's what's going to happen. If it happens. I mean, to be honest,
another surprise.
I'm just like, I'm just the most I don't like planning things. I'm like a non-planner. So I just don't see us ever being like, okay, now is the right time. I just don't feel like that's part of either me or Evan's personality. There is never going to be a right time. We're always going to have some reason why not.
what about you? Jade? Are you planning?
Oh yeah, we're trying to conceive right now. So hopefully, yeah, because as of right now, they'd be pretty close. They'd be almost 2 years apart. So I feel like that's a good age for us because Tanner wants 4, but I think 3 is a good number. We're having a little bit of a difficulty, and I think it's just because I'm finally now really weaning Emerson, and so it's just been like a hormonal thing for me.
Yeah. How old is she?
She'll be 14 months this month.
14 months this month. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's right around when I got pregnant with Riley, because they're 22 months apart. My kid.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like, I mean, it's for everyone, it's different, but like definitely I think as hard as it is at the beginning, like already Molly's like so obsessed with Riley. And like, I know there's going to be like when he can like do more, play more with her, and they're just going to be like so close. So I think it's awesome that you guys are trying, but for sure the hormones, like,
Yeah.
like, one, good for you for making it this long. Like that's incredible. But yeah,
Amazing.
it will happen when it happens. We'll send good fertile thoughts your way.
Thank
Yes.
you.
And we'll be sending period menstrual thoughts your way.
Yes.
Well, is there anything else, Allie, that you want to tell our listeners about? Do you have anything exciting going on, or where they can find you if they want to follow your story?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, me, I'm just right now, my main thing is I'm just doing my blog, AllieLoves.com, ALILUVS.com. And kind of like everything we talked about here, it's like what I talk about on my blog. Like it's all sort of out there on the table of like what's going on with motherhood. I just did a blog about like sleep training, and I'm going to do a follow-up soon. And like what worked for us, because I'm so happy to say that my son is now sleeping 12 hours through the night at 4 months old.
Whoa. That's amazing.
Yes, I am like, his naps are still a little bit of a challenge. We're working on those, but like I have my nights back, which is just the best ever. So I'm going to be blogging about that. And so people can find me there. That's really it. I mean, I have a few things coming up. I'm working on a jewelry line that's coming out soon, which I'm really excited about. So that will be out soon. And then, I'm just trucking along.
We're joining you in the trucking.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
it was so
thank you
good
so
talking to you.
much.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
we appreciate your realness. That's what we
Yes.
love about our podcast. We just like to keep it real. So
Well, thank you guys so much. This was so fun. It was good talking with all of you. And good luck. Good luck with number 2. And then Carly, I hope you have an oops.
You know.
and-
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. So funny.
All right. Thanks, Allie.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks so
Bye.
much.
Bye.
Bye.
She had such amazing energy.
Oh my gosh.
she did. She was good.
She's so good.
Definitely
Man.
a delight.
Yeah, she's delightful. She has always been like, I think like she's one of the most loved Bachelorettes too, because of that reason. Because, people just saw her like realness and rawness. And I feel like she never puts on, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciated how open she was. She was really open about her life, and
Yeah.
I'm sure our listeners can relate to a lot of what she was saying, because I know I did.
Oh, yeah. You know, one thing she said that was so interesting to me when she was like, you know, you have to prioritize things. Like, if your relationship was really bad yesterday, well, then make that the priority today. And, like, it is so hard as a mom because you're like, my baby's my priority, or my baby is my priority, to even think about anything else, even your own health.
So hard.
You know, and that is true, because I know, like, with Evan, it's been kind of a week of being like, Bella, 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 Bella. And I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe tomorrow it'll be a little more Evan.
It was actually pretty good advice.
It's really good advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for listening. If you made it this far. Just kidding. Seriously, we love you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this podcast experience, because I mean, just like having Allie on today, it just makes me realize, like, we really are all in this together. And Jade, like you said, we've had so many people come up to us, like in the grocery store, and say, we listen to your podcast and we love it. And that just makes us happy that we're doing this.
Yeah, it makes my day so much when someone's like, oh, the other day, now I'm going to tell a story, but the other day I was in Jersey Mike's, and the girl who was working there, she goes, don't you have a podcast to be recording? I was like, oh, you listen? I was like, oh my gosh, it made my day. So
it's so nice. Yeah.
Definitely make sure you guys are subscribing so you can listen to a new episode every week. And if you love the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review, because it means the world to us. We love hearing your feedback.
And stay tuned to amazing things that we have coming up soon.
Oh, yeah, I have one more thing to add with that. Okay, so Evan and I are going to do some really fun relationship advice talks. And Evan and I want you guys' questions. So if you are having some difficulties in your relationship, or if your best friend is, or I don't know, anything, we have no idea what we're doing either, but we're going to give you advice.
So if you guys send in an email, we'll put up an email soon, but send us an email of kind of like a dating column. That's kind of what you guys will be doing.
Yeah.
So send in your story and what kind of advice you want to know from Carly and Evan, and they're going to do the best to answer it.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Babes and Babies, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.